painting. So I think I'm just gonna start by putting this down and just gluing pieces, random pieces, because we'll cover them up with gesso in a little bit to get a bunch of texture and dimension, and it's going to be interesting. What I'm going to do is cover this with gesso. And I won't cover it all to obliterate it. I will see still some of the shapes coming through and some of the colors coming through. And what we can expect after we put the gesso on it is to see some figures that start emerging and we bring those to life. Hopefully we can get something like this. This is what I've done in my art journal. This is an old, very old art journal, and this is one of my favorite spreads. I love this spread. And this it just came to life from a bunch of papers. I don't know if you can see the texture of the collages there. And what I saw was this girl and a cat, and then another cat, a ginormous one, and it occurred to me I can make a little story of it. And this cat is in love with that girl cat. And there's still some collage on top of it, very thin, which is the flower and these flowers here. I love this page. Something else that can come out of this, maybe something like this. There is texture there. This is a kitty cat that actually, this one I meant to do based on maybe a Purina advertisement or something. But another one of my favorites is this one. Again, just came from all these collage pieces. And after I put the gesso on it, I saw this girl emerge and this doggy. And I thought she would be a great nurse with her doggy walking in town to help people. It's one of my favorites. As well, this as well. I just saw this animal and a person on it and a bird over here, and two birds actually. So things start coming together. It is pretty incredible how that happens. This is another one of my favorites. This is collage on top, where one of my favorite papers, I collage on top of her, but she came from, and they came from the background, from a bunch of collage pieces and from the gesso, and I saw these figures emerge and I gave them life. So there's a little story there. This lady is like a big queen. She's worried about her little prince who is in love with this girl, and this guy is like in love with this girl as well. They both love her, but you know, does he have a chance? Does she like him or does she like him? And there was a bird out of nowhere there, and another bird over there by the girl, just standing like just in midair, and there's a tree there going through. And there's this little lady behind the queen who is very little and behind. And these people have these tiny hands, but that's all right. I love tiny hands. And this lady has this ginormous cup there, and she's drinking out of it. She's got a funky hat. It almost looks like a religious type or something. So this is what you can accomplish when you lay down a bunch of papers, you cover them up, and don't say what a waste of papers or what are you going to do with that. You obliterated everything. It gives you ideas. It gets your mind going. It gets your imagination going, and it's a lot of fun. Here's my gesso, and I'm going to proceed to covering the page. It's still a little damp, and it's going to be damp for a while, but it's dry to the touch on top. And even if it wasn't, if it's still a little moist on top, you can still work with the gesso. You just gotta be careful. Don't want to rip your material, be too rough on it. Since I'm using a card here to spread the gesso around, if it's wet, you could scrub the paper and cause it to tear up. Let's see if I see something special here that would just feed my imagination. And so far I don't see much of anything. I have picked up some of these little scraps of paper, and what I'm thinking is I do not see anything that calls me on this page. So what I think for me, my problem is right now is I have too many square pieces or straight edges and not enough of shapely pieces, like something like this perhaps, that maybe can lay with next to something like this. Just irregular pieces that can, under the gesso, come through and show different images. So this is what I've had to do in the past. I just start collaging some more, or I come in with pencils or paint and see what happens. Before I try to figure out if I see anything here, I'm just going to grab a pencil and I'm just going to randomly just add some marks. Nothing great, just whatever. You can even use your left hand. Just helps to relax and just be free. Do whatever. That's quite a bit of marks. And I pulled some of this ink. I haven't used my inks in a long time. I really need to use them. They're getting old. So let's see. So we have a wet mess here, but we have more interest. We have different colors. We have gesso, we have papers, we have a bit of contrast, not so much because we do have the gesso giving it a cloudy look, but now with the color on top, there's a little bit more contrast. I don't have a lot of black, a little bit of the lead, and the pencil is pretty light. Let's see what happens. If we can see something in here, I'm going to dry it. A lot of times the scribbles produce some little images that can be goofy and add to the rest of the media that we have added. So here I almost see like a little body, a head, and an ear. Could be a bunny or something. I don't know. That's the first thing I noticed right now. I'm not going that direction, but that's what I see. So I may need to add a little bit more gesso again to find what I want. And if eventually I don't see anything, I may just turn the page and go to another page, because by the time you come back to that one, maybe you'll see something that you missed before. Do not be afraid. That's what our verse says today. And where is my verse at? Here it is. It's buried. The more projects we do, it's crazy. The more that we get buried alive on our desks. So before I do another video, it's time to clean up because I barely have just the space to work with. So yeah, do not be afraid. Isaiah 41:10. So even in this, do not be afraid. Try it out, because it's just paper, it's scraps, it's your journal, it's whatever you want it to be. So I am already seeing some funky stuff. Maybe not necessarily what I want, and it depends. If I look at it down here, straight from my eyes to the page, I see some things. I see little eyes and a little smiley face here. What else did I see? I just lost it. But anyway, if I see it from the camera up here, I can see something else. I can almost see like a little fox here with its nose and its eyes, with the nose like a profile kind of. And here's the mouth. And I see like his lips, like, huh? And you can make his little ears easy. Easy right here. There's a little fox right here. Over here on the camera, I can see a nose and eyes that are open, goofy, and a big mouth. Oh my gosh, that could be a hat. A pink hat with some netting or something like that for a lady with big red lips or something like that. Doesn't have to have a clown nose, but that can be the starter point, excuse me, to do a nose and make the eyes maybe, maybe bigger, but well, they could be as big, like she's like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, and the netting coming down here and more netting over here. What else? We start seeing things. The more you add, sometimes you'll see something the first layer and you're done. You just bring it out. Sometimes it takes more time. But then some of these images will trigger you to create something else to go with them that you don't see necessarily in here. Or like I can have a fox here. And it's funny because if I look at my paper from here, I'm standing up, I don't see the same that I see on the camera. It's easier to see the fox on the camera because I'm farther away maybe. The camera is has minimized this image. And so I do see the fox easily on the camera. And I'm thinking this flower here could represent like a little flower, or a big flower actually, behind the fox. And we can add a stem, a fox, even though he's not that big. A lot of times I like bigger images. These are smaller images, but I do like the idea of the lady as well. Now you could have the lady with the fox right next to her. I have done something like that. That was kind of funny. That appeared again with these doing this kind of thing. If I can find it. Oh, here. And it's so silly because these are literally images that came out of collage papers. You can see the texture is pretty thick. Do you see that? And I like to bring it out with some pencil because I like the look of it and I like the feel of it. Some of the texture you can hear, I like to bring it out. But yeah, here's a lady with great big hair. I love her. She's so cute. She's picking flowers and she has this cute cat climbing on her head. Look at that. I love him and her. It's just so cute to me. And there was just a flower there. That was the original, actually, image from whatever I glued down. And I thought some houses in the back, and this is washi tape. She has washi tape on her. Her dress is washi tape. These houses are made out of, some of them, out of washi tape over here. So, oh, and there's more fox. These were actually from original that I painted over from Christmas wrapping paper. So there's a mama and a baby fox and little flowers. So you can bring a story together by just bringing something like this out. And these ladies, I did see them there though. I saw some big heads or something. So, and then you just build a story around it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perspective perfect. But it's so fun. It's fun to do this. Another one that I did, I love this one. This one has a lot of texture on it and some doodling. And I love this because I collaged this from a magazine and I thought he was cool. It was actually a painting in somebody's house in a magazine with this image that was so goofy. And so I collaged it there and I had glued down these hats. They're not hats. They're actually like cupcakes. They were stickers for a cupcake with candles. And so I glued these down here. They're stickers. And inspired by this guy, I created this. So these guys didn't necessarily come from the background. But this background has a lot of texture. And I like to bring the texture up like this. Some people may hate that. I like it. Actually, now that I see it, some of it is a lot, but I don't know. I just love these guys. I also have my glasses on, so everything looks bigger. Anyway. Oh, then I see a kitty here. Eyes closed like that, and nose, and look at the lips. Oh my gosh, that's almost like, whoa. Yeah, I almost see from the camera, standing back far, I see little dots for almost like whiskers. Like here's a whisker going that way. Here's a whisker again going that way. So these are the lips here, the top lip. And that's perfect. That's the bottom lip right there. Oh my gosh, that's a kitty. The eyes, and here can be an ear. And then here we can do the head here. We can put an ear over here. Look at that. That's a kitty cat right there. I like this. This is another extraction of images behind. And see how big these images are compared to what I was trying to find in here. I like to find bigger images so they stand out more. And I love this because this is an old man with an apple. And just from there, you create this story. And I seen a box there, and she's taking care of apples. And just, it's like a winter apples because I saw snow. And I love this bird. I love his face, his eyes. And this guy is funny because he reminds me of my husband now. He's let his facial hair grow. And I say, you look just like the guy I painted years ago. So, anyway, the cat again, I love this. This again was brought up like this. I saw this big bird like this, and I gave it some ballerina slips because I had all these from a stencil, these circles, and I created like these balls that are floating around, and they're standing there, the ballerinas, and this lady just showed up there, and I love this page as well. It's so fun, so fun. This one again emerged just from the background, just like that. I'm just going to add more gesso and see what happens. Now from this distance, I saw this bird. We have images that we can work with now and block color in and see what happens. So I will come back with fresh eyes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.